Welcome back to Game Changers, and yes,
where's Goldie?
We're down a guy.
You know, I think that's your fault. I think Goldie doesn't like you.
I think so too.
I think he's got.
Every time we do this show, he tries to get further and further away from me.
Well, you wanted to sit back here the other day, so you need to button up that relationship.
You know, it's
too important to this show for you.
We've been on the rocks.
Push him out all the time.
We've been on the rocks for a little while. We're doing a trial separation.
You need to kind of get together a little, you know.
Yeah. There he is. Hey,
there he is.
Goldie, you're back.
You, my friend.
There you go.
My friend Mike. You are Vic Fangio. I am Jalen Ramsey / Cam Smith. That's correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, how about you cover who I tell you to cover? How about that? All right? You come to the shows I tell you to come to. Yes, I'm glad you brought up the Dolphins because just when we thought we're out of the NFL season, they pull us back in. We can't ever get away from this topic. The Dolphins starting, what are we doing?
Well, hang on a second.
Oh, you know, it's our friend's birthday. Mike Cunio's birthday today.
We got something for
Happy
you.
birthday. Whoa. What is this?
Wings?
I thought it was supposed to be a cake.
No, he doesn't eat it.
What?
He's big.
You don't eat it?
This is awesome.
Whoa, hold on a second.
Thank
Bo
you.
Camper, that's how he fits into those
This
small
is
shirts.
great.
He doesn't eat sweets.
Hold on a second.
Wait, you're going to take away my birthday
You're not going to eat it. You're not going to eat a birthday
He
cake?
doesn't eat that stuff.
What do you?
No.
Well, why not? Tell me why.
Why not?
Why?
Because it's not on the
when
diet
When you go to the beach, you got a little fat when you go to the beach?
No, I don't.
I
I don't have the fat when I go to the beach. That's why I don't eat the
This
cake.
is what he eats for birthday. Protein.
And look, let me just say this. I can tell where these came from. They didn't come from my place, I can tell you that.
That's what I was wondering. Did we get the
I'm not going to say anything, but Publix does a pretty good job on their chicken wings.
Oh, okay, we're going to eat this.
Yeah, they didn't come from your place, Bo. They're complimentary, so we know it didn't come from your place.
Darn right. You're darn right. See, if Cunio came to my place, we'd have given him a free birthday cake. But I don't eat birthday cakes.
No.
I get a little chunky under here.
Hey, let me live my life.
You're a grown man.
Let me live my life. Yeah, and I'm making my own decisions.
You got a kid. Worry about the kid, not yourself.
I mean, don't you ever want a little chocolate, Cunio, a little frosting, a little something?
I'll get a little wild every once in a while. Have a little piece of dark chocolate just to mix it up.
Even the dark chocolate, because it is better for you than the regular chocolate.
That's right. Good for the heart. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But what a life you had. Your parents must have just been tough on you.
No, they were great.
They're very good.
Yeah,
just no chocolate.
They all sweet.
Okay, here, eat your wings.
All right, thank you. I'll dive into this in the
Happy
commercial
birthday.
break.
Happy birthday,
guys.
yes.
I appreciate
Feliz Navidad.
that.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, so let's dive into what's been going on with the Dolphins because they're in the news this week. Something former exec Mike Tannenbaum suggested was trading Jalen Waddle to Kansas City for Trent McDuffie because, obviously we're coming up on a lot of contract years for players on this team. Guys, I don't want to necessarily get into this trade specifically, although I agree with Tannenbaum. I think this might actually be a fair one for both teams. But I'll start with you. Do the Dolphin fans and faithful have to get on board with the fact that, you know what, maybe next year, maybe the year after, this team's actually going to start to look different?
Well, let me clear something up first with this Waddle thing. First and foremost, the first mistake you made, listening to Mike Tannenbaum.
Okay.
That's the first mistake you made. This guy hasn't been right since he came to the Dolphins. Well, since he got blown out from the Jets and Rex Ryan when he was eating a burger or something. Yeah. So you can't take anything. He knows what's going on. He's just throwing fodder out there. He's just throwing stuff out there to make some headlines. And look, he hooked like you like that big fish. So
hey, but you know what? The way the cap is, the Dolphins are in a bit of a bind. They're going to have to do some cap gymnastics. So he's just kind of, I think it was just a suggestion just to kind of get ahead of it over the next few years. Goldie, do you think it's crazy to think that this whole team is actually going to come back, or they're going to have to move on from someone?
I didn't say the whole team's coming back.
That part of the question, you're right. The first part of the question, I would agree with Bo. He's just throwing things out there like Russell Wilson, the backup to Aaron Rodgers. Like Russell Wilson's going to back up Aaron Rodgers. What are you kidding me? And Russell Wilson could start for about a third of the teams in the league. Now, team coming back all together, regardless of the, put away Jalen Waddle for a second, who I think they're going to re-sign and keep because you keep your best players. Yeah. No, you can't keep everybody. So you might be looking at Xavier Howard after June 1 getting cut. You're going to have to sign Jalen Ramsey. You got to sign Javon Holland. We'll see what happens with Christian Wilkins. Maybe he's franchise tag. Maybe Connor Williams doesn't come back on the offensive line. So you're going to lose some guys. But to me, I agree with Bo. You got guys like Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle. I think maybe Rob Hunt is in that category. I know Austin Jackson was. They signed him. Yeah. There's certain guys, your own guys, that are young enough that you've got to pay and give the money to, maybe at the cost of some of these veterans. I think Jalen Waddle clearly goes in the first part of that as a guy you keep, because let's keep in mind, as great as Tyreek Hill is, Tyreek's not going to be around forever. He's only got a few years left. So the Waddle situation, I think he's a guy you keep. But, yeah, some of these guys, they're going to have to go. And, hey, we all knew that this year. They loaded up. They went way over the cap. They tried to do something special this year. It looked like they were going to for much of the season. They did make the playoffs, but we knew the price was going to have to be paid during this offseason.
Look, when this league came to full free agency, it got to a point where, you don't really see it, but every team changes about 40% of their roster every single year due to free agency, changes, trades, all those things. Right. So, this team's not going to stay. Right. They'll not all come back. And look, but you got to pick and choose which are the 40% that you're going to move off that you can afford to get something back, or you got someone sitting behind them if he was a starter that you can step in and fill up for. Yeah. But there's going to be change every year, every team around the league.
Yeah, but this is what makes me think that, man, is it the possibility that they just kick the can down the road another year with a guy like Tua, because if you keep that number as small as numbers as small as you can for as long as you can keep the band together while, plugging holes here and there in free agency and stuff. Look, the Dolphins are going to run up to a problem with the salary cap. It'll expand. They'll get some relief, but they're still going to be like $40 million over.
They had 125 million people watch the Super Bowl. Yeah. Most ever for any show, I believe, on TV.
Yeah. Shout out CBS.
The NFL is going to have plenty of money to grow that salary cap.
Yeah.
You may have to wait another year to get another bundle in there. Yeah. But look, I just think, I've been around this team long enough to watch them get rid of a guy, Kyle Van Noy. What's his name?
Like 10 sacks this
season. I mean, Jordan Phillips to Buffalo, who's beat us up every time we've played him. All these guys that have left and gone elsewhere have done very well for their teams and had long careers. Yeah. And we're sitting there going, oh, we had him. Yeah. Oh, we had that guy. We had Rob Ninkovich.
Yeah.
Some point you got to keep your homegrowns.
This is the point of the rebuild. So you get stars young, and now you have your foundation to move forward. It's hard to keep everybody. This isn't an emotional game. This is a business at the end of the day. Yep. Someone's going to have to go, unfortunately. So I think fans just need to be prepared for that moment and just understand that for you to go the places you want to go, sometimes someone's going to get left out.
Yeah, but Jalen Waddle and those guys, those types of guys, are not the ones that have to go. Like X might have to go. Deshaun Elliott might have to go. Agba might have to go. You can't keep Williams and Hunt. Right. When you start talking about guys like Tua and Christian Wilkins and Javon Holland and Jalen Waddle, those are the guys you hold on to. And I thought you brought up a good point, Mike. Now, I'm not sure if the players want to do this. They want to get paid. I know it's a rare occasion, Bo, but it's his birthday. So he brought up a good point that if you could kick that can down the road, maybe you do franchise Christian Wilkins and you worry about it next year. Maybe somehow you do let Tua play out the contract and you worry about it next year, even if you have to pay him even more money at that time. Hey, that's why Chris Greer's in charge. These are some tough decisions they got to make, because there's some good football players on this team, as you guys have said, that aren't going to be on this team this year.
I got to say, in terms, because I love this stuff, right? I love the business of it. This might be my favorite offseason ever because of so many good problems you have, right? This is where the Dolphins want to be.
Just have Christian Wilkins sitting right here for the next 4 or 5 years. That's all I want.
All right, we'll bring him on. He's great.
Doesn't actually have to be sitting here.
He's great on TV.
Keep him around.
All right. You're just trying to get me out of here.
Wilkins, by the way, is going to make $20 million a year, and he's a great player, and he eats cake, Cunyo. So you should have a cake on your birthday too.
Yeah, but I mean, we're doing two different things. He's got to push around 300-pound offensive linemen. I don't. I just have to keep you guys.
someone back. Get Mike some candy. Right. Get him something. Get him a cake.
When we come back,
get him the snacks that they have down in that room that's sitting out there open.
Are the All-Star games broken?
I see him sneak in there and get it too.
We'll find out. We'll talk about that next on Game Changers. I'm gonna have some of this now.
Game Changers is sponsored by your Volkswagen dealers of South Florida. Shop your 7-passenger favorites at VWFlorida.com.
Welcome back to Game Changers, and look who it is on GQ. That is Triple
Goldie?
J, Jaime Jaquez. Goldie wishes he had those beautiful locks. No, hey, shout out to Jaime Jaquez Jr. Yeah. He got robbed at the dunk contest from moving on. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing in the judging.
I think Shaq bent down a little too much.
Yeah,
gave him a little unfair advantage.
Well,
there.
I mean, that kid Mac McClung. I mean, he cleared him easily. No. Put it in your mouth and put it back? Now I have to quarantine off this whole section. Oh, my God. He's just throwing food. Goldie, this is why we need you back here, not in North Carolina, to keep him in check.
I hope no one slips on that.
All right,
there's some wings over there. Watch out.
Yeah, let's talk about the All-Star problem that I think all the major sports are having. Guys, Goldie, I'll start with you. The NBA All-Star game. Did you enjoy it? Do you think it's broken? Because obviously it doesn't seem like the players give a bleep anymore when they're out there on the floor.
Yeah, and there used to be a little bit of competitiveness, and now it's just totally gone. Even if they waited till the fourth quarter and, like I'll go back a little while, like when Kobe was in the league, like if it was a 10-point game in the fourth quarter, like he'd play a little bit of defense, just because that's just the type of guy he is. But you're right. This thing has become like the NFL Pro Bowl, which they've gotten rid of. So, there's a sameness to it. I'm not sure what else they can do in the game. I think the skills competitions are still, pretty fun in a lot of these because guys actually try. Although the NBA, I think they got a problem because the guy that keeps winning the dunk contest isn't even in the league. Yeah. I mean, what sense does that make? This guy can't even get on an NBA roster.
Yeah, the stars aren't really coming out for that. I mean, I was kind of surprised Jaime was in the dunk contest when it was announced. I was happy to see him in it. I was happy to see him do well. I did think they did some good things with three-point shooting contest with Sabrina.
I watched these. I got to see the shooting competitions when the NBA All-Star game was in Miami back in the old arena. And they were great. They were great. They're far from what they were back then. Right. This now, it's ridiculous. First of all, let's talk about the game. Goldie, they almost scored 400 points in a game. 400 points in a game. Guy scores, you're going to get the game. Guy scores 60 and he's the third leading scorer in the game. I mean, how far can you go with letting these guys just, they've allowed them to travel, 4 or 5 steps to the basket. They've allowed them to carry balls. They've allowed them to do everything. Eventually, I don't know. You're going to put the basket up 12 feet? It's ridiculous.
I think maybe with some of the only thing I can think of is with some of the regional rivalries. Maybe they don't go conference and they split it up and they go East Coast, like get the New York guys, the Philly guys.
They just have to care about it. Because look, I mean,
I'm saying maybe they care a little bit more if they do it something like that, like regionally, like the East Coast guys against.
I think you got to attach something to it because we can give baseball the flack we want because
show me the money.
Yeah, show me the money. But baseball has at least gotten ahead of this stuff. Back when the All-Star game was kind of a joke for them, they attached stakes to it with the World Series. Even the game itself of baseball is so slow. They fixed that. The NBA tried it this year with the in-season tournament, and I'm not exactly sure that worked. No. And now they're behind the 8 ball on this. At least the NFL leaned into the fact that, look, it's dangerous. People don't want to get hurt. Money's attached to it. At least they recognize it and had enough self-awareness to say, okay, we'll switch it up enough that where it's just a fun weekend.
And the NHL gives $1 million to the winning team. So those guys in hockey, if it's close late, they actually care. It's $100,000 a man. I mean, it's money.
Right. Why is the NBA always playing catch-up on this stuff? They're always behind on this. Coming up next, college football format for the playoff has changed. And yes, there will be wings when that 12-team format takes place. We're going to talk about, do we like the new changes to college football? We'll talk about that next.
Game Changers is sponsored by your Volkswagen dealers of South Florida. Shop your 7-passenger favorites at VWFlorida.com.
Welcome back to Game Changers. We literally have people walking in the studio eyeballing these things.
Matt comes in.
Matt Conover wanted
He thought it was
some
a Boy Scout jamboree. He thought we were giving away chicken wings. So.
No. No Boy Scout jamboree here. But we do have a new party, if you wish to call it that, a new dance for college football, the 12-team playoff. Guys, it's the top 5 highest-ranked conference champions in the country, and then the next 7 highest ranks. Did the College Football Committee finally get it right, Goldie?
Yeah, it took them a while, but now at least we don't have to worry about it. Like, Florida State from this year, they'd have a chance. You win that conference, one of those top conferences, and you're in the playoff. End of story. I think the Seminole fans were rightfully very upset because nobody ever spelled out the rules. So if you would have said, hey, if you run the table and win the ACC, but we think there's a couple of SEC teams that are better than you, we may not take you, then at least everybody would have known the rules going in. So it's great. We'll still have arguments about numbers 12 and 13 and 14, but at least, you have a really good year and you're a top 5, 10 team. You're going to have a crack at it. And you talk about a windfall financially and with TV ratings, holy cow, this thing is going to be unbelievable, a college football playoff.
I mean, more playoff games, more
Is a Mountain West one of the top 5?
Yeah, listen, that's how it works.
See,
that's how it works. Top 5 ranked.
The problem I have is that you don't have teams like San Jose State, Fresno State, some of these teams, they're in the Mountain West and some of these other conferences. They're going to have no chance to get in. They're going to have no chance.
But that's like college
no matter
basketball.
What they do.
Some of these smaller conferences, you've got to win the conference.
They came in, it was going to be, oh, no, look, it's going to be 4 teams, that's it.
Do you think San Jose State was getting in with 4?
No. It's only 4
Maybe
teams.
54.
It's only 4 teams, that's it. Now it's 6. Now it's going to be 12. It's going to be 18 in another couple of years. Pretty soon you're going to have to put the college schedule at 8 games and then have a month and a half of playoffs to get to the national championship. And then the teams that aren't in the big conferences are going to be absolutely meaningless. Meaningless.
Yeah, the college football landscape.
They're ruining college sports.
Will continue to change.
College hockey's still good.
For the
other sports, not
the
so.
Frozen Four, yes.
16 get in college hockey, the Frozen Four, baby.
Yep.
My only problem with this is, I like the expansion idea, but I think the SEC bias and the Big Ten bias will continue because guess what? Yeah, you're going to get those 5 conference champions, and those other 7 are going to come from 2 conferences. Well, that's what it's going to be. You're going to have like 5 SEC schools, 4 Big Ten schools, and the other will be the other conference champs. It's like no one is ever going to be happy with this system.
It's like the NCAA tournament. What's there? 67 teams in now the playoffs. 68.
Yeah, 68.
Well, 68.
68. Yeah, and the team that won the NIT said, why weren't we in that thing? Because you're number 69 or 70. Yeah. That's what you are. You're not.
Yeah.
But you do have to think, if you go, now that it's 12, okay, and let's take one of these other conferences outside the 5. If you have a great year and you go undefeated, you win them all.
Yeah.
I do think you probably sneak in this 12, don't you?
Yeah.
They can't take a 3-loss Michigan State team over an undefeated Utah team.
Yeah, but the problem is, you know what the problem? It's the same thing FSU had. It's like, do you want to see this school without its quarterback? Do you want to see school XYZ that doesn't have the marquee name get in?
That's the other issue. How do you keep these guys, the guys that are playing in these games, playing in the games for the end, because instead of going, I'm going to this pros, I'm out.
That
don't work
when
either.
you think you have a chance, here's the interesting thing: it may keep them in it because we see guys opt out of these games that can't win the national championship.
Right.
Okay. If you have a shot at the title, you have to think most guys on the 12 teams stay, don't you?
So let me ask you this. So you said you get an undefeated team from another conference. Well, let's just use San Jose State just because it's a team that's in that kind of position. They could go undefeated and they would never get the votes. Never ever get the votes to get into a playoff. So
that's my point.
You become second-class citizens, and
it's the people voting. That ends up being the problem at the end of the day. All right, we got to wrap it up. We got to keep it honest here. One more block before we go. Yes, we're going to keep eating wings as the show continues.
I put some chocolate on one of them.
Game Changers is sponsored by your Volkswagen dealers of South Florida. Shop your 7 passenger favorites at VWFlorida.com.
Welcome back to Game Changers. It's Mike, it's Bo, it's Goldie out in North Carolina, and it's our EP Leo Gomez there in the control room.
Leo.
Goldie, what do you?
He's just back from a 3-week vacation.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, 3 weeks is right. Leo, what do you got for us? What's your surprise question for the day?
Well, my surprise question is, I'm still trying to get over Boy Scout Jamboree. I'm still trying to figure out what that is.
That was a
Matt knows. Matt knows. Believe me.
Matt does know. I'm gonna let you take over the questions here while I eat my birthday.
Oh,
wings.
do it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Bo Goldstein, Inter Miami off to a 1-0 start. First of all, did you watch the game, the whole thing, not just the first half, the whole deal?
I watched the whole game. I watched the whole game, and I'm becoming a fan now. I am. Jordi Alba is kind of my guy. I like him. I like Callender. I like Taylor.
What do you call
all the
Messi?
guys?
Like putting Patrick Mahomes in the XFL?
That's exactly.
Last night.
No, but so that leads me to the question. They need to play someone better than Real Bad Salt Lake City.
I mean,
because Real Bad Salt Lake City was Real Bad last night. They were playing against a team. Look, I don't think they had no shots in goal in the first half.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what do we have? UC Miami, FC Miami?
Inter Miami.
Inter Miami's peppering the net and everything. And by the way, did you see the shot? Did you see the play where Messi
dribbled over the guy,
pops the ball over the guy and keeps running? Look, I'm in. I'm sold now. I'm in. I watched the whole game. I'll be watching more.
The guy was down and hurt. Messi made him look even worse.
That's right.
Man, that's a you problem.
So, Bo, now you're at the point where you're not only analyzing our home team, you're into it enough where you know the opponent is no good. It couldn't have been Inter Miami was that good. The opponent was bad?
Well, I think Miami's good. I like them. They brought, look. Well,
Will Smith was there.
He didn't slap anybody, did he?
Oh, come on.
What?
Come on.
What?
Not on my birthday. Don't get me in trouble on my birthday.
What, you a big Will Smith fan or something?
I'm just saying. Everyone keep your hands to yourself. Look, Leo's giving us the wrap.
Come on, let's wrap it up. South Beach, bring in the heat. See ya.
Wrap them up.
Bye, Goldie.
Bye, Goldie.
Bo. Bye, Leo. Bye, viewers. We'll see you next week.